Hi, welcome all to the session. Today I will take an scenario of loading the data to the target from multiple flat files, and after completion of the data load, back up all the source files to the folder created with the current date or timestamp. So with this example, you will understand or learn indirect loading, importing the flat files, simple mapping, few commands, and writing and executing a script file using command task. Okay. So before we start, let's understand the scenario for this example. Let's say from each country we are getting data or say department data in the separate flat file. These flat files have some same structure and we have to load these files in a single target. Say we have sources like S1, S2, S3. We have to load all together in a single target, say T1, and move all these source files to the backup folder, which is created using the timestamp. In this case, I would create it as department hyphen the current date. Okay, so current date is 21, so it would be 21. Okay, so this is the scenario and the business requirement. Okay, so let's move or start with the example. So before I start the mappings or show you the source files. So this is my source directory. Okay, source files. Okay, this is a folder, department, source files. This is a directory. So for implementation of this logic, we have to create a file with all the source file names. Now, in this case, I have department 1, department 2, and department 3 as three sources. So in department 1, I have this data. Department 2, I have this, and department 3 is this. Okay, so department 1 I have this data, and then department 2 this is 11, 22, 33, 4, and department 3 I say let's change it for 44. Let me change it to 144. So this is what the department 123 has the data. Now I have to create one more file with all the file names in that. So this department list is basically the having the data with all the file names, say department 1, department 2, and department 3, which are supposed to be loaded in the target table. In case I create one more department, say I have one more, so I just say F, let me rename F2, let me give the name as department, say 4. Okay, so let me change some data in that, say 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is what I have. Okay, so I'll save this and go to the department list and add that information. Department 4. Okay, save this. Now this is my source is ready. Now I move to the mapping. Okay, so this is a simple mapping. We do not have any other transformations. Basically, as Informatica has quite many transformations for this scenario or this example, there is no data transform done. Like there is nothing where we are working on any data. So it is a plain mapping where the data is read from the source and loaded to the target. So I'm just using source qualifier and target definition. So this is the just two transformation which are being used. Informatica has, as I said, Informatica has wide variety of transformation. These are all set of transformations. During our regular batches, we will take each of these transformation with the different scenarios and understand each of them. So now let's understand the source and target definition. Okay, so now source and target. As I said, this is a plain and simple mapping. Have the source qualifier as a flat file and target also as a flat file. So how do we import the source? So basically go to the source qualifier analyzer, and then we have this option of import from file. So in this case, I'm just importing one particular, as this data structure is same of all the flat files. So let me just go and import one of them. Okay, so I say oh, and now okay, so it starts from row starts from 1 because I don't have any headers there. It directly starts from 1. Move. Now it is, if you see, it is the fields are separate with comma, so you just have to go and say comma. In case if there is any other separation, you can either give semicolon, tab, space, or if anything other than that, you can just give the separation as, say I have a pipe symbol, so I'll give it as a pipe symbol. Okay, so I don't have anything else, so leave me, I have just the comma separated fields. So next here is what you can give the name for the fields. Basically it's my department number. Okay, and then this is department name, and this is department location. Okay, so this is what, and then in case you want, you can change the type also. For now, as it is number and text text, I'm not changing anything, so say finish. So this is what I have the flat file. Okay, so let me go to the mapping. Okay, so I already have this mapping created. So what you have to do is simply drag and drop from the, as you get input, you get all these data into this sources, this left hand side what I'm showing. So you have to just drag and drop the source file. Okay, so you have the source and target definition, so link them. Target is basically again same thing, the way I've created. You have to just go to the target designer and either import it or create it. Okay, we will see it in more detail in our regular classes. So once I have done, okay, it's always a best practice to go and check for validate the mapping. So yeah, the mapping is valid. Look at the message here. Okay, so once done, then either I can go and create generate the workflow save from here, or we have the option of going to the workflow manager and then creating the workflow. For now I'll create the workflow or generate the workflow from here. So this takes the source and target, and the basically connections and all, this one connections names and all you're supposed to give in the workflow. So let me, okay, okay, it is already generated successfully. Let me go and open the workflow manager. Okay, so this is what I have, workflow manager. This is the basically workflow manager has different tasks, as designer has different transformations. In workflow we have different tasks. Okay, every task has its own set of properties and the features. So for now, for this one, we need the session task. Session task is basically loading the data from source to the target. Okay, so now I have taken the session task. Okay, I'll open it. So here we have changing the properties. What we have to change to load the multiple files is, okay, so basically look at this, source file type is indirect. um, by default it would be direct, so you have to just change this to indirect, and then source file directory is basically the directory where it is the files are being placed, and source file name is the department list, the names of all the file source, those that file we are supposed to mention it here, that is department list. Department list nothing but the data in it. So 1 2 3 4 whatever goes into it. So that list is the source file name. Okay, so when it's done, so we can start the workflow. So okay, okay, so succeeded. Let's go and check the target folder. Okay, look at this department. Department is the output of the, look at this 1 2 3. If, let me show you one more thing. See, mapping. My source was what I have given it as indirect. Okay, and then it is the source file directory what we have mentioned. Department list is what we have mentioned. In my target, I have to just mention the, okay, the output directory file, so which is in target folder, and the department or sorry, and the output file name. So I have, in this case I have mentioned it as department.txt. Okay, so when you say output directory and department this is my output folder, and department directory department is my output file. So if I open this, this is what the data is. Now let's see. Okay, so 1 2, look at this, department 1, department 2, department 3, and we had one more as department 4 also. Okay, so this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and our output is this. So fine, everything is in one directory. All the data files are being loaded into one single output or target table or flat file. So this is my flat file which is having all the data together from multiple sources. Okay, so now this is one part of scenario what we have. Okay, so now our requirement is to extend and to backup these files. So basically backup these files and save it in particular folder. So I have a info working folder, I have a backup folder. In this backup folder I want to save this or move copy those files to this particular backup folder, and the and I want to save it as, I want to save it as said, it would be something like department hyphen the current date, that is department department hyphen, today is 21, so it would be 21. So this is what I will create a folder with this format and then load the data within this format. So let's see how do we do this. Okay, to extend this, now we have to, one second, I will take a command task. Okay, command task is basically executes the scripts, shells, basically the commands which either it would be a shell commands or it would be a DOS commands. So my installation of Informatica is in Windows, so I will use the DOS commands. So let me give name as backup cmd underscore backup. Great, done. So link this session. Okay, double click commands. So this is where you can give. There are many ways of backupping the files, but now I'll show you, either writing with a script or a batch script, or directly executing the commands from here. So let's see executing the commands first. So what I will have to do is, first I will create a directory. Okay, create a directory folder. Okay, so create a cmd make dir. Okay, so I'll just create a command with make dir. Okay, right click and okay, though, so this is a command in DOS where I have using mkdir. Mkdir basically creates a folder or a directory. So this basically creates department with the current date in the backup folder. Okay, so this particular command creates the folder in this particular backup. So currently in backup I don't have any folder. Here it will create, that command will create the folder. Okay, so say okay. Now next let me create one more command saying copy. cmd command copy. So here I will use a copy command. Okay, so basically what is it doing is, look at this, I'm using a copy command where I am copying the files from this particular folder, that is source folder, department source files. I'm copying the files from this particular folder and then pasting it to the newly created folder. So this is backup for in this particular destination. The cop of sorry, the files will get copied. Okay, so now let's execute this command. So copy source to destination, say okay, say apply, okay, and say save. Now let's start the workflow. Okay, so this command has been successful. Look at this, success. Workflow monitor is basically to see the status of the workflow run. So basically from here we'll get to know what command has been succeeded, what time. All this session in session properties or session information can be seen through the workflow monitor. So this session has been succeeded. So let's see the output. So in my back folder, one second. Folder is not created. Okay, okay. Create it once again. It's already there. I have to delete it. Succeeded. Okay, look at this. It is created the backup folder. See, look at this. We have the files here, right? So backup, working folder, backup, and then department 21, it is created, right? So if you want to see it once again, we can just go open the command, and then what did I do? I just have given a command make directory with the department. So let me just say department sources. Let me create one more folder with department sources and say okay. So now what you have to do is here, because I've changed the name there, I'll have to change the name here also as department sources, right? So you are SC. I hope the name is, let's copy this, go here and then, right? So okay, so apply, say okay, now save. Now what would happen is it will create the the backup folder by name department sources hyphen the current date. Let's see, succeeded. Look at this, it's all succeeded. Let's go and check the department backup folder. Look at this, department sources hyphen 21, and we all have the data: department 1, department 2, department 3, department 4, and the department list. So basically we all have the source files here, and again the target also would be created. See, look at this, department timestamp 26, recent timestamp, and this is all is the file is also generated. Okay, so this is the way where we can, this is one of the way where we can have a backup. There are different, like basically we move the data and all. For everything we have different commands and we can use those commands. So this is just to show you, I have used the make directory and copy command. In this case, you can also generate a batch script and just call the batch script directly from the command itself. So now I will just show you a batch script what I have. Okay, if you are not aware of this script, not to worry. In our regular classes, we will try and create these scripts and understand them thoroughly. So now here I have the script. Basically this is a comments, okay, and this is a script. Basically it checks for the folders, the folder is available. If it is already there, then it will simply copy the files from source to destination. If not, then it will create the directory. So basically this is what it is like. If else I'm checking and then creating and copying the folder. Okay, so this is the batch script. So what you can do is simply call this batch script wherever it is available. So now in this case what I'm creating a folder by name test2 here. Look at this, test2 here. Okay, so here say close and simply give, how do you call it? Basically create one more command, or I can either remove these commands or just simply I will say backup. Okay, and then simply call them. Okay, I'll have to check. It's, I think it's in the backup. Okay, scripts, this is what I have. So let me copy hyphen script dot batch. Okay, so this is what, look at this, this is the way you call the batch file. This is a batch file which you calling. Okay, so you say okay. Now let me remove these. Okay, we'll just run the script. Say okay, start the workflow. Succeeded, running. Okay, succeeded. So all is succeeded. Let's go and check the backup file. Look at here, test2 here, it's created, and same thing, all the files have been copied, right? So this is the way of executing a batch file. Okay, so we are done with the scenario. What scenario we had is basically we uh, copied the multiple flat files, source files to one target, and then we have taken the backup of those files using the command task. Okay, so thank you for being there, and let me know if you have any doubts. Okay then, bye. Thank you.